Hello and welcome to X-Men, the animated series re-examined. I'm Dan Bain. This is my friend Harv Harkeen. We're talking about an animated show for children from 30 years ago as adults.
Is it for children? Is it for children and adults? Is it for everyone, Dan? I think it's for everyone.
Maybe it is for everyone. Maybe it's a timeless classic for the ages. It could well be that.
Yes, we're on to...
That's part of the question, I guess, that we're trying to answer.
Yeah, we're going back and saying, like, do these episodes hold up? Are they as timeless as we remember? Are they as good as we remember? And for the most part, short answer, yes.
Yeah,
because
so
we're still
far.
doing it. It's episode 5 right now. And if you're still listening to us right now, you love it too. You love it. You know you do. You know you do. I really liked this week's episode, Dan.
Give us an overview of what happened. What are we at? Episode 5?
Sure. We are at episode 5, season 1, episode 5. This episode is called Captive Hearts. We jump into the world of the Morlocks. We open with the scene of the X-Men training in the Danger Room. We find out about Storm's claustrophobia, again hammered home, in case we forgot that. We see the first kind of sparks of the Wolverine-Jean romance or relationship there. Scott and Cyclops. Scott. I wish Scott and Cyclops would just get together. Jean and Scott are out on a date where they get lured to and captured by the Morlocks, the underground dwelling mutants that are too disfigured and deformed to walk on the surface. And then the rest of the X-Men hear their plea. They come and rescue them. It falls on Storm to fight the leader of the Morlocks, Callisto, in one-on-one combat. She wins. Huzzah! Saving the day and offers the Morlocks sanctuary at the mansion, which I'll talk about later. And at the end, when they all come back to the mansion, the X-Men, they find out that Wolverine has left. His feelings for Jean have driven him away from the mansion. Action-packed.
Yes. So,
overall, how'd you find this episode, Dan? What's the feeling you get left with?
I was a bit hot and cold on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. There were bits of it that I was like, haha, good. Yes, that was good and fun. And bits of it that I was a bit like,
yeah. Well, we're re-examining, like, the good and the bad. What was the bad? What
I don't know. I just found it a bit. I found the Morlocks a bit one-dimensional. Having kind of experienced all these, I guess the richness of the other characters, whether they're kind of on the X-Men or whether they're kind of antagonists, the Morlocks just seemed like a real grab bag of unattractive mutations.
Well, they do say they're deformed down there. Yeah. Do you know what? May I hazard a guess here, Dan and listeners? What happens is, Dan's always been kind of fascinated with like the kind of underclass in fiction and things, and quite likes the word troglodyte, for example. And when he would have seen in this episode that, like, oh my god, there's a whole branch of mutants that lives under the surface because they're too ugly for our world. Oh, what kind of tortured souls may we come across? What is their story? Come to the fire and tell us your tale. And he would have been excited about finding this rich world of the subway dwellers, and to have them be quite one-dimensional, which they are. I think that's where your disappointment might have come from. How far am I off the mark?
It might well be. It's like you go down there and their leader is a knockoff Cyclops who's horny for Cyclops.
I think you might be thinking about someone different, because there was a character that had an eye patch that could shoot a laser from it, right?
Yeah, and the leader's got an eye patch as well.
But the leader doesn't have.
Right, I know.
There's just 2 eye patch people down there. They ran out of ideas.
They ran out of eyes.
Like coming up with the Morlocks. Yeah. So there's 2 eye patch subway dwellers.
But but still, I mean, some other great bits I quite enjoy. Some other bits I did enjoy. Pushing into of the love triangle. Jean Grey is in such an unusual situation in that both of the guys that are into it are kind of a bit shit in different ways.
Gang of superheroes. I've got 2 shit ones.
Yeah. Like Wolverine's just like, why do you love me? And Cyclops is like, babe, stop touching me. I'm on a mission.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to see Jean Grey come back and kick ass in this, because she's been a bit by the wayside. We haven't seen her in the field or on a mission per se until now, and she really holds her own.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming back to what you said about the Morlocks, I would have loved a Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks, to have some sort of story. Give us a little something. Give us I, Callisto, who ran away from the circus, became the leader of the... Give us something, It was just, I'm the leader, and I want Cyclops. That was her motivation. I want a companion. First off, we didn't find out if she's got a mutant power. I mean, I know she does, but I've forgotten it. I feel terrible. But we get no alluding to that in the episode, or no examples of that in the episode. All she wants is a companion.
Yeah, I maybe that's also part of my slight dissatisfaction with this episode, is that that motivation seems real slim for a...
Oh, hold on. There was one motivation. She specifically says, he will provide me an heir.
Yeah, exactly. So but Cyclops' quality sperm, is the motivation for the entire episode. I guess you have to see it in the context of its time. It's a real subversion or inversion of the villain kidnapping the hero's girlfriend because she's the most beautiful in the land, kind of thing.
Yes. Oh, good point.
I tell you what I do like, though, is the guy who, I guess his power is I can control mud.
Like that kind of clay.
Yeah.
Like that grey, muddy clay manipulation power. Yeah. And it also, I sweat this as well. It just pours out of my pores.
Yeah.
He secretes it as well.
He's real manky. And you're like, oh, yeah.
He's real proper Morlock.
Yeah. Got a real it's like, that's what I want from my troglodyte underclass.
Stand up there, troglodyte citizen.
Yeah.
Let us have a look at you. Yeah. That's what we're looking for here.
Yeah. Tell me about your powers. What are your powers? Oh, I can manipulate the power of shit. Oh, that's it. Yes, exactly. Good.
Perfectly.
Good. Awful. What about you? Sewage. I can speak to the sewage. Oh, good. Yes.
I can speak to this. It's not happy. It really doesn't like being down here.
Yeah.
I wish we'd kind of cut to like a room of that dude's bedroom and just found a pottery collection of all this clay that he makes in the background.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that Callisto wants Cyclops to provide her an heir, and the rest of the Morlocks, doesn't that kind of make them feel worse? It's like, oh, we're all horribly deformed and can't be seen by the rest of humanity and mutant-anity. But luckily our leader understands us, and she will lead us, and her heir will lead us, and she's like, Morlocks, we will get a beautiful man to provide me a child.
Yeah.
The rest of you ugly fuckers couldn't hope to provide the next leader of the Morlocks.
We're getting distracted by the primary love triangle of Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Wolverine, but everyone's forgetting the hidden undercurrent of all the Morlocks that want to date Callisto. And Cyclops. If there's a love triangle, Cyclops has to be in it.
Yeah, you had your chance, Clayman.
Yeah, exactly.
With the love triangle, the first time we see that Jean and Wolverine have a moment. I love that the writers were like, okay, Jean and Wolverine are going to have a moment, and we want Wolverine to look tough, but he's also vulnerable. What can we have him be doing? It's practicing karate.
Yeah.
Topless.
Yeah.
Topless karate.
There's quite a lot of moments of Wolverine wearing bandages. There's a lot of just through the series as a whole. It's here's Wolverine and he's in his bandages again because something terrible's happened to him.
I do like that they toned down his healing factor in this. He's been in bed and he should be resting. And Jean says, even you can't heal that fast, Wolverine. So they imply, he can heal quickly, but it's not like movie Wolverine where someone shoots him and a bullet just his skin just
and it closes
vomits
over,
the bullet back up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a much more believable healing factor.
He's like, someday I'll learn how to let my guard down. And then at the exact point that she is kind of trying to get him to let his guard down emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a really nice moment, which is like, what does he say? I'm waiting for you, Jean.
Yeah.
No, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
She says, I gotta go. Cyclops is waiting for me. And he goes, so am I. And I was like, oh, look at this. So conflicted.
Yeah. Wolverine undoes a lot of sympathy later on in the episode where he sits there cutting Cyclops out of photos. Was that in the next episode? I can't remember.
No. He left it. No, this isn't the one. This isn't this one. We get the shot. There is a major meme, which is Wolverine lying on the bed in full costume, stroking the photo.
Yeah.
And, going, Gene. And that's a meme that you would have seen around, and they just replace the photo of whatever Wolverine's looking at with thing that is popular today.
Yes. I can see why it's jumped out, it's crossed into that kind of meme culture. Because it's such a weird moment. Where... It's
because it's in full costume.
Why are you in bed in your uniform? It's so strange.
Unless it's like, are we ready for the mission? Oh, Gambit's still suiting up? I'm going to go lie in my bed, okay? Just call me when we're ready to go.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wolverine, why do you have a photo of Cyclops and Jean in your room? Question for you. I know last time that you had some reservations about Beast reading Animal Farm.
Oh, yeah.
In prison. You notice on the date, Cyclops and Jean go to see Phantom of the Opera?
Yes. Yes,
How do you feel about that?
I like that. I like that. First of all, that the whole episode is a cautionary tale that if you do go and see Phantom of the Opera, you will be punished for it by being...
You have no one to blame for yourself for suckling at the Weber tree.
Exactly. As soon as you go and see Phantom, you deserve to be kidnapped by a underground mutant cult.
I thought you were going to say something very like, oh, isn't it interesting that they go see a show about a phantom, a man that thinks he's so deformed he can't be seen by no one will ever love him, and then they're captured by an underground group of mutants that think they can never be seen and they're too deformed. I thought you were going to make that parallel.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly you just don't like...
I guess there's that as well. Absolutely.
Dan Bain is so begrudging to give Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera anything. Won't give it an inch, people. Won't give it an inch.
My favourite.
Will not even let it be compared to a 90s animated cartoon.
Cyclops comes out of the show and is like just talking business. He's got and Jean's kind of like, what about? And I love how he's like, he's got nothing to say about the show that they've just been and seen. He's never like,
show?
Wasn't that was kind of incredible when they made that effect where the boat went across the lake, or
or the chandelier drop. Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, or wow, she's that Sarah Brightman's really got some chops on her.
As we all know, 90s? Cyclops loves a show. I don't know why I found this so funny, but when they're walking out of the Phantom of the Opera and they see the little green mutant leech,
yes,
is the one that lures him down into the subway, and he steals some fruit with his mutant power, like he levitates the fruit over, and immediately some guy just goes, "Stop touching my fruit! Get your hands off my fruit!"
Yeah.
And do you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Don't touch the bread. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember Don't Touch the Bread. What are you guys doing in here? Just green. Oh, well, don't touch the bread.
Context, listeners. Dan and I used to... we had a gig as two living human statues, and we were at a traction engine festival. Long story. Anyway, our dressing room was a place where they were also keeping all the bread for the sausage sizzle, and we were getting changed and then just hanging out there. This guy, the security guard, came in and he sees us. He goes, "What are you guys doing here?" We're like, "Oh, we're the human statues." And he looks at us and looks at this like plethora of bread. And what's he say, Dan?
All right, don't touch the bread. Okay.
Like he's going to come back and find little holes in the bags where we've been nibbling at the bread. I don't know about you, Dan, but after like a good hour of human statuary, there's nothing I love to come back to than dry bread.
Oh, I love to gnaw through the plastic of the bag, just so I can get at the crust, just without anyone. Because I don't want anyone to notice that I've been there because I'm so timid and wall dwelling.
I'm surprised it didn't scare us away. So yeah, in this episode where he was like, "Don't touch my fruit," made me think of that. So that's what made me chuckle. And immediately there's a mob of people willing to get this mutant. I know it starts with like just fruit and there's humanity is scared of mutants, but they lead this group of humans down to the subway. And do you notice they threw a couple of them onto the tracks and were full on ready for them to die. They almost murdered two people.
Yeah.
No wonder humanity hates and fears you. You're about to murder two. You literally just threw two of them in front of a train.
There's yeah, and I mean, I guess was that justified? They were
no.
Because I mean, but having said that, it was kind of a lynch mob that was chasing a child.
Yeah, the lynch mob normally
what were they
doesn't come up against super
What were they going to do? I don't think they were chasing him to get those two pieces of fruit back.
Yeah, not in that economy.
Yeah,
they could let that fruit go.
No.
That was the 90s.
Get that. Yeah. What's that? An orange and a big lemon? No. Not citrus. Can't let it go.
All right, so they were almost killed these people. Dan thinks it's justified.
That little green lychee dude seems to have actually... Is he an actual person, or did they just invent like a little kid for the TV show? Because he seems to have extraordinary levels of power, in that he's got complete telekinesis, but he also has some sort of power draining ability as well. So he's like a child rogue / Jean Grey. That's a lot of moves.
Yeah. There's quite a skill set there. It's funny how, like, you know, Cyclops wakes up and we see Cyclops' eyes, and he's somehow drained Cyclops' power, and Leech is going, "I did that for you so you could see better. You helped me out, I'll help you out." So he thinks he's doing him a favor by stealing his powers. And to which I would say, did you not want to take the powers of the guy that's like just sweats clay? Did you not want to help him out?
Yeah. Did that guy could go, like, if you did that, like, kind of on a, I don't know, what is it, a daily basis, that guy could go get a job.
In fact, all the Morlocks, if we're all deformed down here, let's just get Leech to take all our powers, and suddenly, hey, presto, we're good.
They really haven't thought this through.
Exactly. We encountered another shapeshifter down there in the Morlocks ranks. So far there's this, well, we haven't seen her yet, but Mystique is going to pop up later. So that's 3 shapeshifters encounting, like Morph, this one in the Morlocks, and a Mystique that's going to turn up later. What do you think of the her name is Anne Lee, which is the kind of like Russian grandma looking character down there that like manipulates people's minds?
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's probably, looks like it's, I was like, I wonder, is her codename Babushka? That was good. I mean, she was very atypical in terms of what superheroes look like. I guess my favorite moment with her is
may I guess?
Yeah, you go.
Was it you're covered in scorpions? Covered in scorpions.
And then I love that, and then, like, just in case we haven't gathered that it's worked by the fact that we can see ghost scorpions on Wolverine, and she's said that several times. He goes, "I'm covered in scorpions."
Team update. I'm covered in scorpions.
Which, yeah, it could have been a hideous moment. Actually, I think I was kind of like, oh my god, Wolverine's not gonna unsheath his claws and start trying to
scrape off the scorpions,
scrape off the ghost scorpions. But then the PG rating, saved us from that. The other bit that I really like is when she kind of turns Jean Grey into a 8-year-old.
Yes.
Who's like, Mommy, why are the bad men here?
Yeah. It was really off-putting, wasn't it? It was really unnerving.
Yeah.
Unsettling, seeing that Jean Grey, who's like just previously fought off pretty much all the Morlocks, to now just like this quivering little toddler kind of mammy.
They're doing a danger room simulation at the top of the
I
episode.
loved, by the way, the panning shot they use on this to establish the X-Men. Like they're all kind of like back to back, huddled together, and the camera pans across them, and like they all kind of get their powers ready. A bit like that scene in the Avengers where like the 6 of them are in a circle and the camera pans around them, and you can see them all getting ready for battle.
Sure, yeah.
This came out years before that, so well done, showrunners.
Yeah, and we're right in it. I mean, I guess there's a lot that in the way that the Danger Room is presented that gives me questions. I love how
such as
so Charles Xavier's running the simulation, and they're in there kind of doing like he's like, in the days ahead we will have to rely on each other, and then he just starts shooting them with lasers. We'll have to rely on pew pew pew.
I love the bit where he's traumatized, he's quite serious, and he goes, we must never let our guard down. Remember what happened to Morph. So he's going like, remember the guy that died? And he has a little moment. He's like, we must never forget what happened to Morph. And it's quite sad. And then he just like, again, pew, 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 hits the button to like, more traps.
I think he mentioned something about like, we have to, there is a bit of a kind of, let's put this in context for the watcher who may not know what's going on, who's like, this will train you for hazards you come across in the world. And I'm just like, what is this world that they're training for? Where, like, there's just so many lasers and spinning saw blades and ropey metal tentacles. Also seems that they've set a real completion or death kind of state to the danger. There doesn't seem to be any kind of like, whoa, we need to tap out. Like they do, like.
Yeah, can we turn it down a little level, please?
Yeah,
that'd be right.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, we're actually really now. Obviously, Charles, you're incredibly psychically powerful. You can understand the mental state of everyone nearby. And as you can probably tell, things aren't going well for Storm in here. Ever since it seems you deliberately turned on the let's crush the room wall and, moving wall, crushing roof thing. She's having a real panic attack in here, mate. Can we turn this? Is there any chance we can turn this? No.
No, I must prey on your biggest fears.
Fight your way out, X-Men. You must learn to be a team. Aren't you part of the team? Am I?
Wolverine, Charlie's going for our phobias, bro. Don't say anything about your arachnophobia.
Yeah.
I know how you hate scorpions.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't let Charles know. Don't let Charles know your weaknesses.
I do love the Danger Room. Anytime in the Danger Room, it's great. There's a really cool comic later on the Joss Whedon run of Astonishing X-Men, where they're really down the comic line of X-Men stories. And they're like, oh, what can we do now? And what happens is the Danger Room becomes sentient and becomes a villain. Like the computer itself that can manifest everything, it becomes a collective consciousness and becomes sentient. And the great thing about it is it's a great villain for the X-Men because it has recorded all their training sessions. And it's like, I've analyzed all your patterns. I know all your strengths, all your weaknesses. And there's nothing you can do that I wouldn't have seen before. So later on, the Morlocks, the X-Men go and try and save Cyclops and Jean. The X-Men come down there. We get Wolverine with his amazing nose again, sniffing them out, finding the decoy Cyclops. That turns out, I love how he scares the shit out of this guy. How they've got like, okay, you pretend to be Cyclops and you pretend to be dead, and Wolverine's like, I'm gonna shove my claws on either side of his head into the ground and scare the crap out of him. As well, he does.
Yeah, so he chases off. There's this kind of chase sequence of him going after kind of Callisto, who runs off, and he's like, "I'm gonna sniff you down. I love to hunt," or whatever he's like.
It turns out he loves the chase.
That's right. He loves the chase, and he loves to. I mean, it's an opportunity to showcase that incredible sniffing. And they're getting in a fight, and for some reason she's got this weird weapon, which looks like this kind of sacramental ceremonial double-ended dildo, with these kind of.
That's exactly what they were going for.
I assume so. And then he gets in a fight with her and slices it in half.
It's so Darth Maul.
Yeah. And then I tell you what, something that I did not see where this episode was going was for it to end with a lightsaber fight between Callisto and Storm. Do you
know what was really annoying about that? I hear you. Who saw that coming? Again with the animation, they're holding on to the beams. They're holding on to the bits that look like the deadly bits. You know how there's the handle in the middle. You think like, oh, that's where you hold it and wield it from. The rest of it looks like a blade that you shouldn't touch. They're both holding them on the blades.
It goes. It's a bit all over the place. There's a real kind of, I'm calling you out. I'm going to fight you.
Can you do that? Is that the way things work? You just go up to the leader and go, I'm fighting you for the leadership of your tribe.
Yeah, apparently.
Like if you worked for a company and some guy marched into your headquarters and said, I want to fight your boss, and if I win, I'm your new boss.
That would be.
I don't really think that's the way it goes.
I mean, that would be amazing, though.
Who wouldn't want to see that, actually?
I found the terms of engagement for this leadership duel. Yeah, it was quite curious where they're like, she's like, okay, but you're not allowed to. You're not. This is just going to be a lightsaber fight. You're not allowed to use your powers, and if you do any powers, you forfeit the terms, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Storm just rated herself as a sword fighter as well.
Clearly.
And then she wins, and she's like, come back to the house. And like, right, now I'm your ruler. Come back to the house. And the Morlocks are so kind of have such low self-esteem from the way they've been treated. They're like, no, we're not allowed to live in a big fancy house. We're just
we don't deserve
it. We like being in the drain. We're gonna stay in. We're gonna stay in the drain.
Are you sure it's a mansion?
No.
Did I mention it's a mansion?
No.
With showers and pools and places to eat and lovely beds. Come, all of you.
No, it's cold down here, and that's how we like it. Except when it gets really hot, and then it smells.
Come on, at least a couple of you. Hey, pink lady that looks kind of flat. You fit in fine with the next
What the hell?
You and
what's
your
her
colours.
two-dimensional girl? It's that. She's
there's a whole other dimension than the rest of the Morlocks.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Ayo.
Oh, shots fired. Yeah.
Leech, we could use you. We need fruit all the time. So give us a rest from our powers as well. Like a bunch of you could come. Imagine if they had turned up and Charles would be like, I only budgeted for 7 of you. There's no way the mansion can hold the rest of these freaks.
Yeah, guys, we're not recruiting at the moment. We've got a freeze on recruitment.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah.
Well, someone's given up their bedroom.
Well, luckily for them, one just came available because Wolverine's left.
I know, what a transition. Yeah.
Yes, he is. I love how they come in. Hey, Cyclops and I just wanted to thank you. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's not in the gym. He must be gone. This is where he practices topless karate.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know that if Wolverine isn't on a mission, he's got his shirt off and he's doing it. And to be honest, I am a fan of like Wolverine with his shirt off is great. I'm like, because it's so unusual in any kind of media to particularly from that kind of time, but even now, to see a dude who actually has like a body hair.
Yes.
Everyone's always just like ripped and like just got real smooth, glistening abs. And
like Gambit, we do get a tiny little glimpse of Gambit and Rogue coming back from the pool, and Gambit is hairless.
Yeah,
and cut is fuck.
Yeah, of course, absolutely cut. But yeah, like Wolverine, is like it's got big hairy arms, hairy chest, and it's like, I mean, and I understand that it's like it's saying, yeah, he's more, is he more beast than man? But yeah,
I get it, man. There's representation there.
It's representation, I know, and there's a bald guy. So there's a lot going on for me in this.
The X-Men animated series, re-examined and relatable.
Oh, I know. Because let me tell you, Hav, as a straight white man, I've just struggled to see myself in media, just for years. Yeah. We're so underserved.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to pull out that Nicaraguan Chinese mutant.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Finally, I mean, it's going to come out.
It can only be a matter of time, I'm sure.
I mean, his mutant ability to start revolutions and instantly quell them is going to be invaluable to the team.
Yeah.
Yep. So Wolverine's run off because he can't handle his feelings for Jean. That's what's implied, and it leaves us with yet another to be continued. Every story, there has not been a single standalone story in this one. I mean, like, you could argue in this one that the story of the Morlocks is tied up, but it does leave us with a literal to be continued.
Yeah.
Question for you: You're Jean Grey. Who should you go with, Wolverine or Cyclops?
I mean, as I said earlier, I think they're both actually quite bad choices. Wolverine has so many red flags. Even in the way where he's things that in some context you're like, oh yeah, I do feel bad for Wolverine. His pining for her is often on the side of like, dude, chill out a bit. Like just because she gave
Fuck
you,
I'm off to stroke my photo.
Yeah, she gave you some attention, man. She didn't propose. But also Cyclops seems like a neglectful lover.
Well, that's because he's got I think he puts duty first.
Yes, and I think another way to interpret that is a neglectful lover.
But it's not like he's playing video.
Neglectful.
All right, fine.
He didn't even talk to her about Phantom.
He had nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
You got nothing, bro. Not a 2.5 hour show. You got nothing.
Yeah, not even like, oh, it was nice to get out of the house.
All right, so if Wolverine and Cyclops are both bad choices, who should she go for? If out of the characters we've seen so far, in any of the episodes.
Yeah, I mean, depends on.
Obviously, Jean, you don't have to choose anyone. You're a strong, independent woman, but we're just playing a little game here.
Yeah. What about Magneto?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that. She'd find his passion quite. I find his passion quite alluring.
Yeah. Older gentleman. She's clear. Yes. She's clearly happy with kind of being like, "Mommy, go away." Maybe she could be like, "Ooh, Daddy," like.
Babushka, get in here.
Part of the charm of this show is that it's no one is ideal. Like even Rogue, who is pretty much all round kind of charming and we like her and she's friendly and good. Like so, her powers are gathered from stealing them from someone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My powers work on other people's suffering. I literally steal my powers.
Yeah.
I quite liked it in the fight with the Morlock as well, when the Morlock that infects Gambit with fever.
Oh,
she gets up, it gets a really slow touch to she does her like, oh, you wouldn't want to feel bad now and that you're coming down with fever, and then like the slowest hand to his face, and while he just stands there like, oh, guess, yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and I'm like, God, move, dude, move.
Yeah,
you've just been ducking and diving explosions. This lady with this slow palm.
Yeah,
come on.
That's the Gambit's weakness there, and there's something.
Trust the ladies too much, does he?
Yeah, trust the ladies too much.
I actually thought the babushka lady looked quite well dressed and would fit in humanity quite well. In the market.
Yeah, I don't understand what her.
If anyone's going to steal the fruit, send the old lady up there, and she can play like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I got the fruit. All in all, I really liked this episode. What was your favorite bit in it? What was your favorite bit?
I think my favorite bit. There's a bit where I think it's Calypso finishes fighting. She's kind of been kicking everyone, and she's like, "Now for the animal." When she's about to kill Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I think there's something kind of curious about in that line where, their thing is being marginalized for their appearance, not just their mutation, but also their hideousness, and then her reductionism of Wolverine to being just like he's an animal, and I'm able to kill him or something like that.
And I live in the sewer.
Lessons of...
And I'm calling you an animal.
I know. Lessons of we treat others the way that we've been treated ourselves. But yeah, without
there
that.
You go.
Yeah. I like that.
Dan Payne loves the Under Society.
Yeah. Oh, actually, the other bit I really liked, which just seemed kind of perplexing, was when they're like, "This is going to be my husband," and she shows a supercut of Cyclops' greatest hits on the TV.
Where did she get that video?
No.
Where did you get this video? She's like showing stuff that we saw.
Yeah.
Like, where did you have cameras?
Yeah, she's like,
the break-in on the mutant.
Yeah. It's like she
facility.
recorded X-Men the animated series.
Well, the first time we see her, she is in front of like an armchair, implying that it's kind of like a throne. And either side of the armchair are like VHS players, like the ones that used to wheel around at school. Like, they wheeled it in for an English class or something.
Yeah. We've got a reliever today, so.
Yeah. What are we studying today? Oh, Cyclops' greatest hits. Beautiful. I like those.
Nice.
Yeah. This episode leaves us with it to be continued. Love triangle strengthened. Morlocks introduced. The world of the mutants and the X-Men is expanded further. I'm still loving this series. I know you found this episode a little bit hit and miss. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of it.
I certainly don't feel
a lot of questions.
I don't feel like it's lost me, and maybe it speaks more to the quality of the first kind of the initial kind of two linked series. So the first 4 episodes, but yeah, it was a little hot and cold for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's this episode. We'll be back next week with the next episode, which is episode 6, Cold Vengeance. We'll be back with.
Where did Wolverine go?
Where's he gone? We'll hope to find out. But in the meantime, do like, subscribe, follow the show wherever you find it on your podcast platform of choice. Both Harv and myself are available to see both on the internet and in live contexts. Because we do stuff and make things. You can find links to where you could do any or all of that in the show notes, so do give it a click. And most importantly, if you have a friend who you know is into this sort of nonsense, best thing you can do to help the show out is let them know about it so they can be part of it too. Until next time, Thanks so much, Hav.
Thank you very much, bro. I'll catch you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Are podcasts too interesting? Especially if you use them to fall asleep. I'm Dan Bain, and all 4 seasons of my podcast, Sleepy Time Mumbles, are interesting enough to listen to, but not interesting enough to keep you awake. Sleepy Time Mumbles, a podcast you can miss, wherever you get your podcasts.